Papa Boner, Hajime Mashite. My homeboy just lost all his crypto, man. Think I'm gonna send him over your way. Maybe you could teach him something for me, man. Teach him how to protect this crypto.
Sure, very easy. You would have poorly managed your seed phrases. You would have either released them in the physical world by leaving them out.
On my crypto secure, I follow Papa Boner. He used MetaMask. Now it's crypto a goner.
What's
You
that?
should have seen his face. He was hot like the summer. It sucks to lose all your money. Man, that shit really not funny. On my crypto secure, I follow Papa Boner. He used MetaMask. Now it's crypto a goner. You should have seen his face. He was hot like the summer. It sucks to lose all your money. Man, that shit really not funny. All my crypto is safe, cause I got it on Treasure. Yeah, his C's got backdoored, cause he got it on Ledger.
Get a hardware wallet, you guys.
So you know you gotta do better. Got a DCA, so gotta stack cheddar. In Hexaco, cause I had to change the weather. You gotta be smart when you in DeFi.
That's right, Pulsechain.
Seeds in your Levi.
Trezor still got the Black Friday deal going on. So get yourself one.
And follow Papa Boner.
Follow Papa Boner.
Using your keyboard on either your phone or your PC to do so. That of course,
So is he in the chat? Let's go.
allow either a man-in-the-middle attack.
Miss Avalon fam, tiny widow.
On my crypto secure, I follow Papa Boner. He used MetaMask. Now it's crypto goner. You should have seen his face. He was hot like the summer. It sucks to lose all your money. Man, that shit really not funny. On my crypto secure, I follow Papa Boner. He used MetaMask. Now it's crypto goner. You should have seen his face.
Ecstatic, let's
He
go.
was hot like the summer. It sucks to lose all your money. Man, that shit really not funny.
This is going on, ladies and gentlemen.
What the hex is you guys talking about?
With IC coin on the Pulsechain climb, harvesting memes from the digital vine. Our coin it soared, hit the top so dear. Laughs and dreams, we got plenty here. Farm on the meme side, always on the meme side. Farm on the meme side of life.
Hi, can I come in? It's Richard Hart, rumored billionaire and bidet service technician. I'm here to install your bidet, sir. There we go. Look at that technology right there. It's gonna wash your butt, and your butt's gonna be clean. Let's get to work.
A single card can change lives. We continue to send a direct message to thousands of homes. See how you can help by going to hexpostcards.com.
Moi, vous. Non, c'est... Oh.
What the hex?
What the heck is
What
this whole thing about?
It's what the max is.
What the max?
What the max?
What's the min? Not the min, it's the max. I like it.
Got
Peter the
RHMax
Max.
on the show. Welcome.
Thanks for having me
Guys.
back.
Yeah, it's the return of the magnificent.
Yes.
Maxificant. I haven't heard that one before. I like it. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
You're giving me
Yeah, where how
problems.
am I arranging? Is that okay, Papa B, for you? Is that
No,
okay for
reverse
you?
it. Peter's always down and to the right. That's the way he likes his charts.
This way.
Thanks. Yeah.
Okay. This
Nice to
way.
meet you, Peter, as well.
Hello.
All right. Before we go into things, let me say hi to the chat real quick. We got DJ and Doggy in the house first. We got Avalon here as a close second. Hex on air in the chat. We got a Wookiee on the chain. Where's my Wookiee sound? There it is. It's a bit low on volume. Welcome to the Biz with Briz is in the house. Maddie, man, RHMax, you're bringing the crowd here. This OG stacked chat room. Alan Fizz-May, Red Squirrel with the oink oink.
Wow.
Checks my pulse. Good to see you. Man, already 75 people out the gate.
What?
Live. There you go.
That's reach.
So what's going on in Mexico?
Too much shit.
Yeah.
Another boring week.
Hey,
that's another
let's
boring
talk
week.
about
it. DJ, remember when we used to be a twice a week show, and then we said we're not going to do this shit during the bear. There's nothing to talk about for months on end. Now everything everywhere all at once, and we've got RHMax as a guest. So this is quite set up to be quite the show. So, God, man, the price action,
it's horrible.
The staking action, all the dynamics of everything that we've known and loved for 5 years has all been tipped on its head.
Yeah,
this is ridiculous.
This is crazy. Let me just recap for the people who are living under a rock. So it all started last week with the OA staking for 7 days, 350 billion HEX. Or well, not the OA technically. It was the PulseX Sacrifice related wallet who did that. And it was for 7 days. And then I think a day later, all the ink rewards have been slashed 10 times down from the yield farms on PulseX.
Please be clear, which side was it on? The Ethereum side or the Pulsechain side?
No, that is on both. The staking on both. The yield farming, of course, on Pulsechain. And then over the weekend, all of the remaining HEX that the OA always had for years has also been staked and had been staked out Cuatro Cinco. So we now have a situation where 95% of all HEX that ever existed is staked out. And today was the day where we needed to see what is happening after the 7 day. And sure enough, didn't wait long, didn't let it lie around for long. The stake was ended and restaked for another 30 days. So it's again a full month now where it's 95% of all HEX staked, and the ink farms have been slashed one more time, down by another, I think, 10 times down. So now it's even less. So no more free shit, basically. RHMax,
no more free yield. All the yield guys, rest in peace.
It's done. So RHMax, you've been streaming almost every day with different kinds of people. I think you've heard all kinds of possible theories that there are about what's happening. Why is this happening? Why is it happening now? What is your take so far from what you think yourself about all this, or what you've heard from other people? Can you give us a bit of a talk on that?
Yeah, I've definitely talked to a lot of people, and especially the Hex Power Hour the other day with Ben and Crispy. Like that was an amazing stream.
Oh yeah,
fire stream.
Yes,
yeah, I really enjoyed. I've been trying to get those two together for a long time because they are some of the best stats in crypto right there, and got some really informed opinions too. So yeah, it's been crazy. It's everyone's like, oh, the yield's been cut. I don't even think about it. It hasn't been this like feeling for me of like, oh, now I'm getting less yield. Like I know that I know that when I think about stakes and stuff now, yield's been cut a lot. 60% or something like that, somewhere around that number on the Hex side. And then of course with ink, it's just been bam. We had the down a lot and then down a lot again. I don't know. It's I think everyone's names, and whether you like this change or not, like we can have these conversations about it, right? We can have the the side it's like, no, I'm here for yield. And for me, I'm telling, hey, come here for the yield. This is it. This ecosystem of yield. What are we gonna say now? Hopefully this ecosystem price go up. Is it that time? That too. but I'm glad we can have the conversations, have the compassion, have these things in Hexaco too. And I think, fundamentally, whatever the move OA makes, whatever move these benevolent whales make, like I read into it as bullish, my instinct. That's what the definition of the benevolent actors are. Is they being benevolent, right? Whether you understand it at the time or not. How many different times have we seen things happen where they look confusing at first, and then okay, it happened. We look at it for a week or two, and then we go on like, okay, well, we're going to make this work now. So, I mean, it doesn't mean they're perfect or all that stuff too, but I think the intentions are kind of baked into the design of Hex, and I think a lot of those, I don't know, there's a reason, and apparently changes were needed to be made now. So yeah, yield down. People factor that into their staking or lack thereof at this point, but I don't know. I'm hoping price go up, because if price don't go up and yield down, that's a harder conversation.
But I think that the days of ambiguity and navel gazing are over. The message, certain messages and certain subcultures have formed around supposition. To me, this is finally the clear message, as clear as Richard can, or the OA, the African priest, can make it, right? Directing the sheep into the right freaking troughs or whatever, the little enclaves, so that they can be, the healthiest, biggest, fattest sheep. Hopefully not for the slaughter, but at least for the fleecing. You know what I mean? It's like a cottage industry that has just been well defined, and I think we're all going to profit from it. No expectations, of course, not financial advice. But if you're still here and you've obeyed the tenets of this ecosystem and the guy that used to stream to us, then I think that this is a benevolent act every way you look at it.
And I just want to make it clear too, like am I happy that short-term stakes have less yield now? No, of course not. But does that make me sad or confused? Like, no, I've had plenty of time to make these stakes. We've had 4 or 5 years to get the yield in. And I don't know, I feel like this is, again, all the stuff I've heard, encouraging move for hopefully price go up.
So Max, hold on a second. Is it fair to say that an apropos analogy would be your parents are getting divorced? Your parents are getting divorced, but there's going to be 2 Christmases.
Sounds like a HEX PHEX type of
exactly.
Selling like that too, maybe.
Exactly.
I just think, so if we think of things in cycles too, why not seasons? Why can't there be a season of yield and a season for price go up? Why can't that be it?
Yeah, that's maybe what it is. Yeah. But the thing is, the short-term rolling stakes have been going on 4 or 5 years. Sharks staking for 30 days and then selling the interest and doing it all over again. Same with the ink. If you have a couple million in stable coins and you farm ink like a madman and sell that on the market.
DJ, I have a question.
Yes.
Which wallets were doing that? The 30-day staking of Hex? Because everyone talks about it. I see no concrete evidence. No concrete.
You have your hands over your eyes and
where is the list
pacifier in your mouth
of those addresses? I want to see it. I'm just curious.
You're the only one that hasn't seen the evidence so far.
Well, we have like 180 sharks in the system, so that's probably it's those guys. Because everybody's smaller than that, it wouldn't matter really.
Wait, what's your question, Peter? Can you
read? Where on Pulse alerts are those stakes that end after 30 days and the stakers sell the interest and restake it?
Right.
Someone show it to me, please, because I hear this bullshit all the time.
Right.
And I'm kind of mad because everybody, it's nice to talk about something without evidence. I can make shit up all day. I can be the decentralized me of Hex. I can make shit up about Hex.
So you're saying that is just a theory, but that's not really proven, and there's no.
I have never seen evidence.
I can't prove it,
for this talking point
on the whales.
Never since 5 years, or how long is it going on? I mean,
wow, I can tell Peter's angry.
Yeah, I mean, well, because if we have some talking point and no evidence, it's getting old for me. Like,
well, if
someone
it's all
show it to me. Someone show it to me. Jesus Christ, make an Excel spreadsheet.
But Peter, isn't this move that the OA did calling bullshit on that as well? I think so, right? It's the answer to that. I don't believe that this is happening the sharks are not acting in a benevolent fashion. They're not restaking and trying to accumulate more that way. They're dumping and killing the price. Is that what you're saying?
Selling the yield was never a problem. I didn't see any wallet that moved the price by selling yield. It was always selling all or just doing something.
Right. Well, what about that laddering down a couple of wallets during the beginning of the bear that we were just like saying you don't have to murder the price, and we got a message from that wallet address somehow. That person supposedly said this is the only way that a shark can become a whale. So shut up and let me cook. That was what we got. So there were crazy games that were exploited in the system. Sure. Is that what you mean?
But selling the yield was never a problem.
No, it wasn't the yield. It was his whole bag. He was hammering the price every 15 minutes.
Yeah. He was selling his whole bag, and the price was killed until he was done.
Yes, correct.
But what about the fact, though, that we're going no more inflation at the moment? So he's cut down. First he started with pump.tires, which is burning more pulls than it's being produced. At the same time, he stopped the ink, or drastically reduced the ink payouts for ink inflation, and then
that's an interesting move also.
And now there's the lowest hex inflation sort of. APR is or APY, if you stake long enough, I believe is still 38% because that's in the
no.
Well, if you stake 8-9
no,
years,
it's
you're
like
getting
no.
3.8%.
Yeah,
on a 1 year thing. But if you
no.
That's an interesting question. What is the most APY you can make on even 5555s now?
Yeah, I think it's 3 point something. There is this
the annual inflation is. I mean, the inflation is still happening, sort of, but it goes towards the OA. It's getting all that inflation, which we believe is diamond hands. So the inflation has not stopped.
Yeah, but I like the joke on your stream, Max. When Crispy Man said, the marketing has changed, so maybe we should just recall those flyers and use whiteout to just put out the decimal and move it over to the.
I recently fixed it. Somebody tweeted, and I put a little dot with the 38%. I put a little dot on the 3.8. So it's fixed it.
Nice, good.
But the point I was trying to make, we're bringing down inflation, and at the same time you have Donald Trump in office and Elon Musk, who was just live yesterday at some TED Talk where he said their plan is for the next 2 years to bring down inflation and seriously reduce the interest rates. So Richard, being a big fan of Donald Trump, could that all be, because the timing as well, why now? Could that all be intertwined together is what
I think the things I've been seeing, you mentioned the pump.tires, all these things, the burning of PulseX, burning of PLS,
yes,
the shaking up of Hex and stuff right now, all that seems to me to be engagement. It's like, hey, here's new stuff. You got to pay attention now. Oh, you thought OA wasn't going to make a lot of moves? Maybe that expectation, hopefully not much of one at least. The only expectation I have of OA is not to dump on my head. I'll say that. That's the only one I can even. I try to avoid anything, but that's the one where I'm like, okay, I hope that doesn't happen. Everything else is, I know this is like a shock to these things are happening, the yield and stuff too. But I try to stay grounded in that one too. But all the stuff I've been seeing happening with Richard tweeting about and OA moves and stuff too has been get more people in. How do we funnel people towards Pulsechain? How do we make it more valuable by burning it, by, you know, getting people in with the memes and everything else too. So I think this is just a seismic shift of, hey, like, you can't just stake, earn yield. You can't just spit in the farms, earn yield. It is kind of like this, like go do other things to bring people in, because, you know, maybe that'll work better, and we can like go up like that.
Yeah. About the farms, that's interesting because yeah, I think this move motivates people to pull out liquidity, and yeah, the upwards move can be better, but also the downside.
Also
so,
the downside, yes.
Yeah.
But you always said, why would someone stake when they can just go and earn?
Yeah, why would someone stake or yield farm when they can just buy?
Well, with the staking, it's still, and as Super Hex here said, it's for. Actually, on the ETH side, there has been tons of penalties. Like, we've seen millions of penalties where I'm not really sure where they're coming from all of a sudden. So 3-4 days ago, it was still 5 hex per T-share, if the stats are correct. But another thing is, now definitely price has to compensate for the lower hex per T-share payout, because we're still here for the life-changing generational transfer of wealth. We're here for these gains, right? And if the price of hex goes $1, $1.50, and if you're getting 2 hex per T-share, and let's face it, most hexicans who are like active in the community have between, let's say, 100 and 1,000 T-shares. That's what most active hexicans in the community have. And even at just 2 hex payout per T-share, if the price is above $1, that is still life-changing money. If the price stays where it's now at a penny, it's not. So that's why I'm seriously thinking a pump is imminent to compensate for that. Otherwise, the whole story of Hex is over.
Yeah, that's big bunch of opium.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
Peter,
it would make sense that the price should compensate for the yield cut, but the buyers have to come from somewhere.
I mean, Crispy Man is calling for $5 to $10. I'm not even going there, but you know, above $1.
Crispy Man is wise.
Because the 40% that's staked away is staked away for Quattro Cinco. That's not coming back. The 7-day rolling, or now the 30-day rolling, which is
there's a way it can come back, DJ.
Yeah. It can be redistributed. Yeah.
Right. Well, half of it anyway. And you know, Crispy Man also, again, hats off to RHMax and delivering an in-depth, delicious, brain-flipping stream where Crispy Man revealed something that I had never considered, and it's so obvious. It's right in front of your face. It's not half goes back to the OA. It's half plus the majority that it is staked, entitled to get more of the emergency end stake, which is weird, because if you emergency end stake and you suffer the penalty, one would think that you don't get any more reward, no benefit. You lose everything. So maybe Crispy Man, is that debatable? What do you think, Max? Is that correct statement? He said like 70% would go to the OA, but I now am confused, because if the OA emergency end stakes, they suffer the penalty and they get half of the rewards. So
interesting.
So what was that about?
I tend to defer to Crispy Man on mechanics, but I mean, what you're saying, yeah, I mean, that's the way I understand it as well. But maybe there's some other nuance there.
Well, if there were multiple wallets leading up to it, if it wasn't just one stake, for example, there are tranches. So that maybe makes sense that the last tranche suffers 100% penalty, but all the rest of them, as they emergency unzip, then it goes to the OA 50%, and then the remaining tranches will get the benefit as long as it's done. Yeah, they'll get the benefit as long as they still survive.
Contract, right?
But but as long as they survive the turnover to the next day. So you can't do it all at once. It would take like as many days as there are stakes.
Is the point that regardless if the OA bleeds out or not, they'll still get the hex back? Are you saying like it doesn't matter like what move they make, they'll always still have the hex, or at least some portion? They won't like lose it like a normal player would?
I'm saying that 50% is easy to imagine in your mind, right? But what if there's this way that they can get even more than 50% of the remaining benefits of the penalties?
I think Crispy is right on that one, because the penalty gets distributed to all addresses in a T-shirt pool, and I don't know, like 10 or 15% of stakes are non-OA, so the rest is the OA. So it's like 80 to 75%. And if there is like, okay, let's say the 50% stake, the I don't know, the 250 billion one gets penalized. So all the penalty gets distributed to the staking pool, remaining T-shares, and just a small portion of that are non-OA addresses. So basically, it's more than 50%.
Right. Makes sense.
So HexMac had the great tweet out today. It's clear to me that no one really knows what Richard has planned for the ecosystem. It's what keeps this place interesting, the endless speculation.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was talking about too. Like, I think, what if there was this sense of complacency and just angst about the red candles and all this stuff? Like, what can shake that up? Big changes, things that it could be a win-win for the existing community and new people. If new people come in, the whole thing is like, okay, it's how do you onboard that selling them about yield? If you have green candles, they tend to trust a product more, whether that it's, no matter what the product is, if it's doing well over time. So the community that's been staking, getting all the yield for the last few years, for example, that yield's still there. It's just been reduced. Again, for now, this is temporary. It could change. The yield could go up and down. And then the new people coming in, if they can't be sold on the yield, or they don't want to, lock up for longer and bigger and all that stuff too, then they'll see price go up. So I don't know. I feel like there's a win-win here. I don't think it's just this seismic shift, hurts a lot of bags. Of course, there are certain circumstances and choices and stuff we make about how to do the stakes and how long and all that stuff, and that can. But I think there's a lot of winning here too.
What would you say? And that's also Crispy Man's concern, I think. Once again, shout out for Crispy Man, very active right now. What do we tell the new people? Because our play is still onboarding, keeping Hex alive. By what do we entice them to come play on Pulsechain? I mean, meme coins kind of goes against my conviction. So I really like the hex with the trustless yield, and yes, that has not changed. I think Johnny Chaos has said that we have now just made a reset, and the payout was bumped up to 7.8 hex per T-share. Now we're down to 2, and we will gradually, as the months and years progress, grow back up again to 3, 4, 5 hex. So are we just...
Why wouldn't it be a cycle? Why wouldn't it be cyclical?
Are we just starting over basically with that narrative? Would that be possible?
Well, no. The best thing would be if, goddamn it, if Richard says something consistent.
Yeah.
Like, gets on the stream, turns on the chat, and takes responsibility. Like in the good old days, but I don't know if that's going to happen in the near future.
Yeah, he's leaving us to figure out. He's leaving.
Nobody knows what he's doing.
Breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel.
Who believe that he's speaking to them via the blockchain. It's this kind of insanity. So yeah, some.
But as you can see here on this website, gopulse.com, just removing the inflation and taking out the liquidity doesn't pump the price. It needs buyers. It needs.
Hey DJ, I think we have to
find
another site for these metrics. I don't want to use gopulse.com anymore because they delisted B9.
What?
What a shitcoin.
Shut up, you.
Are you joking? Seriously?
No, man.
Really?
Damn.
No.
But we got a super chat for 1 million Vietnamese dong.
Dong.
The OA is trying to tell us to farm hex on 2 fucks. That's correct. So if you're in for the yield farming, you can still do that on 2 fucks, where Fast Abdul lives. You can do that on 9mm. You can do that on 9inch.io. There are still farms in the 30%. I actually had this up here.
You could do it in my wallet. Just give me all your goodies, and I'll definitely give you yield.
So there's still farms, in the 50% on stable coins against 9inch. So, 20, 34. So it's still there, but it's not on PulseX anymore. So maybe it's the rise of these second market platforms, for lack of better description. What do you think, RHMax? Is that a viable option for people?
Viable option to do what?
Yield farming still on these other platforms, if that's all you care about.
On other platforms? Yeah, actually, that's an interesting point of like, I sent you the tweet too about like, how do we onboard people with Hex and like now that the yield story has changed. But one of my thoughts was will other platforms benefit or will they not benefit? I guess the case for benefiting is, okay, I can't get yield here. I like the number go up. As far as the yield number go up, I like that's just, whether, versus the price go up with the core coins too, maybe the yield to go up and the price will go up with the community coins. A lot of people like betting in that way. And then, or will it say, will the mechanics be like, oh, will it turn out to be, the core coins just go ballistic and they go up a lot. And they're like, whoa, that's actually lower yield is better, less selling pressure, all that stuff. And will that shift people away from some of the projects that have a lot of yield coming out? I don't know, but I think that the impact on the broader ecosystem of products that have high yield or low yield or otherwise, based on what the inflation model is for Ink and Hex now, that's something that I'm kind of excited to see.
Right. And then again, I'm thinking about the tweets.
People like to price go up.
Yeah, exactly. You did this survey there, but it's still 2 days left on your X. Links, by the way, to RHMax's Twitter and YouTube are
very low votes on this one. Yeah, get out there and vote if you want to be represented here.
Exactly. For now, it's talk about price go up. Peter likes that.
Me too.
Yeah, but like of these choices too, what do y'all think? Like price go up? Mention like if to whales, if they bigger, longer, maybe better, all that stuff. If they can wait, they would want to again take it out of their hands and not be tempted to sell it. There's maybe something there. The yield may be temporary. Hey, it's low now. Maybe it'll be bigger later, or just be like, this is real DeFi. This is the place where they can't just lose your money like all the other centralized services that went down. What do y'all think we'll be selling Hex with right now?
Price,
yeah. Price always wins.
Yep. Green candles will do the talking for you as well.
I think that the poll is pretty well represented too. I would say again, most people just care about the price. A lot of people really want DeFi though. They want a place where they can control their money. And I think that we've got a great place for that. And that's definitely, if not a primary selling point, a secondary one.
Sure. And I'm going to pay for my next house in Hex.
But then I'm thinking about the tweets that he made towards Vitalik, kind of it's time for ETH to go up. That is his wallet, the ETH treasury wallet, which is still pretty down bad. The yellow line here on the screen is where he bought, and I think as I said before, it also needs funds to come in for the price to rocket up. And I have a hunch, I don't know, but I have a hunch that we won't see this happen until this chart here has improved. So I think that's
kind of.
Didn't Somi pop the cork off of the cycles in the markets? I think Somi had a very interesting video where he explained the externalities that are now influencing why Ethereum and Ethereum Bitcoin ratio is not going to move until the market that has just peaked above the zero mark actually rockets up this time. And it's late. It's like 800 something days rather than the previous cycle where it was like only 200 and something. So we've really elongated this thing, which hopefully is a spring that's coiled back and is going to really be dramatic up. If that happens, we're in the clear, and Richard looks like a genius.
And
or
Toby
he is a
has his
genius.
lawnmower on in the background.
Yeah, Toby, what's with the lawnmower?
It's not a lawnmower. It's
a grass blower.
It's an aquarium.
It's a foot massager.
It's an aquarium. The water level's a little low in the sump. All right, so you hear the pump a little stronger than usual. I apologize, guys. I got to keep my creatures alive with water circulation.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of water circulation, I'm going to be circulating a little plop plop fizz fizz Alka-Seltzer relief for these fucking ups and downs been going on. That's not a prop. I'm literally going to drink that.
It's okay.
Don't
You're
do
all
drugs, kids.
Man, it's you know what? It's not been boring. So there's that. And for one thing that's exciting, I'm super stoked to have Max on the show. I was glad he could make it. And I really liked. I was actually listening while I was rushing around to get here. I had some parental duties this afternoon. Anyhow, the seasons. I really like the seasons analogy. You know, why can't there be a yield season and a price season, which makes total sense. And if you think like my first thought when I saw the stuff come out was like quantitative easing, quantitative tightening, right? It's effectively that, right? I mean, if the Fed is moving the rates up and down, they're incentivizing certain behavior. If you want people to invest, you want cheap loans available, right? If you want people to save, you know, the interest rates start going up. So that was the first thought I had on it. And then Papa and I talked a bit last night about the HEX narrative kind of being blown out of the water for delayed gratification and staking yield and what have you. And I'd replied to somebody's tweet. I can't remember who it is exactly now, but they had prompted the thought in my mind, like, well, isn't there a tipping point, right? Like if we get the price appreciation that we're expecting from these moves, I mean, let's be real about it. When we were talking about HEX yield, we were talking about how much money we were going to make, right? Like how much money in yield am I going to make as my stakes mature? So if the price goes up enough, I mean, it theoretically should offset the reduction in how much HEX you're getting per T-share per day.
Yeah.
So like if you were making $10 a day and now you're making $1 and then HEX 10X's because of these moves, you're back to making $10 a day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like
if you're staked long term.
If you're staked long term,
and the price follows up, nothing has really changed.
Well, but here's the other piece too of that is that, you know, something that was always kind of like the little stepchild that didn't get the attention was the delayed gratification piece. We all love talking about the big yield, right? The maximum, you know, stake length yields and like the big payday bonuses and, you know, EES bonuses and yield. But the underlying philosophy behind all this was delayed gratification because like who makes money? Holders and founders. So this incentivizes people still, you know, you don't want that penalty and, you know, and you don't want to sell before we're fully in the bull and you don't want to sell at the bottom of the bear. So, you know, if you have a staking ladder set up intelligently, you will have liquid at the right times. You know, if we continue with the 4-year cycle, of course, but still, like I do quarterly ladders and it's like, and that works out great for me. It's like, it's there. If I decide, hey, something's going to go ape shit, I want to keep some liquid in case I finally, after 5 years, decide to take some profit in my HEX stuff. But yeah, so those are my quick thoughts on all of the above, but I've really enjoyed the conversation so far with you guys.
But maybe you're right with the season. Maybe that's it. Maybe we have worked it out on this show here which nobody watches, although I am proud to announce that we have 250 people live right now, which is pretty crazy.
Ooh.
So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Follow up, hit the like, subscribe. I had one last question for RHMax before we do TA with Toby. This landing page of yours that we also often show on this show here is something that you have created. That's gorealdefi.com is the URL, because ever since Richard Hart moved to the interplanetary file system, so that also the people on Mars can stake.
It's been out of this world to figure out where to,
exactly
for new people.
Can you explain in layman's term how do you keep this site up to date? Like, how do you ensure that you're always on the right version of PulseX, for example? Just the other day, we had 2 more updates in the brink of an hour, like almost. Like, how does this work? And what are the mechanics to ensure you're definitely on the right page and not being fished? Can you talk about that?
Well, the beauty of it is I don't do anything.
Nice.
Everything's automatic. So I've set it up where literally I'm surprised. I was streaming the other day and I saw, oh, there's a new inflation number thing there. Like, they must have had a new version of PulseX. I didn't even know.
Okay.
And I was just using GoRealDefi. So yeah, I've set it up where as long as I pay the bill, the server go burr, then all the code just automatically pulls from the official websites. It'll pull down the links, make sure everything's correct, up to date. And yeah, that's all there is to it. You can click verify hash and it'll tell you, like, hey, here's what the official hash is. Here's what the hash on the site is. Here's what the website should look like. And there's all kinds of different. I have a security background. I have put everything I can think of to make sure this site is like what I feel comfortable using it. And it's got all these different features and all the stuff running automatic and frictionless. I even launched a bug bounty program. There's a $500 bug bounty for anyone who does actually finds a critical, relevant security issue in the site that affects users. I have a $500 bug bounty program. May even be more than that if it's actually like a good, well written up, issue and stuff like that. So bug bounty program, it's been live for over a year. Right. I use it all the time. Lots of users. I look at the traffic. I think it's pretty. Yeah, it's beautiful. It is the simplest version of what I could do, and it's got navigation to other links in the ecosystem as well as making it just easy for new people to click on a link. Don't need to download anything. Again, if you want to do that, feel free. But this is just like the easiest way to access the ecosystem, in my opinion.
But Bretip and also Richard have tweeted, I believe, multiple times, like advising people not to bookmark the IPFS link. But you kind of
so the reason they say not to book
with this site. So what's the difference technically?
So I guess when there's if they're saying not to bookmark the IPFS link, that would be because each version of the app correlates to an IPFS link, to a hash. So if you bookmark the link itself, that's going to take you only to that. You're never going to get an update because the hash will change.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why they say use the official site and just click the link there. That's always updated. And again, GoRealDefi literally just pulls from the JSON from the official site every 10 seconds or something like that. When there's the official update, boom, it automatically, everything's updated and just works.
Fantastic. No, I use it all the time. So gorealdefi.com, that's a great one you developed for the community for free, volunteering.
I've asked people. It is my one of my contributions that I've tried to make, and I've asked people why don't you use it? Like I've did a poll, like what is the reason you're not using it? And some people still say security. Some people say I don't know.
Trust.
Like I've provided every single thing you can verify it yourself, but there's still people, and that's fine. Like they just want to use the official sites, totally fine. But for new onboards, I send them to GoRealDefi because I like it.
Who's got the squeaking youngling in the background?
Not me.
Peter.
I think that's Toby's pump over there.
That wasn't me on that one. That was not me. On the dogs.
Max, do you have younglings? Have you successfully spawned more brainiacs into this world?
Lexicons.
I mean, in the back over there's a gaggle of ducks, and I've tried to shoo them away, but they keep coming by my window.
And they keep laying eggs and doing more things. Okay.
And they keep procreating. I don't know what it is. They're never going to go away.
Oh wow!
Hey, Matt, a white swan event.
I was just because it's like I had a bookmark, but it's like I've got a billion bookmarks. So it's instead of bookmarking it, I just tried to type in gorealdefi.com, and it is being blocked by Chrome, and it's
boom.
So it's
that's
a malicious site.
If there's a link for the last year or so, on and off, there have been MetaMask, I think Phantom.
Exactly. Those were the two that popped up. First it said that Phantom was identifying as malicious, and then I said, fuck it, go anyhow. And then it said MetaMask was saying it's malicious. I said, fuck it, go anyhow. And then it went beyond both of those and still is not letting me do it.
Yeah, this is why AV always
flag it.
Is there a preferred browser that you have less issues with, or is it pretty ubiquitous?
I don't see it. When I use Chrome, where I use like Firefox or other browsers and stuff too, Safari, it's just, I guess, your setup, like what AV you're using. If you have MetaMask installed, if they feel like flagging it at the time, I've reported it to them. I've asked other people to report it, like as, hey, you're falsely, claiming this is malicious. Obviously not, all this stuff. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So if there's a button to say report error, stop doing this, please. You can feel free to click that.
Word to the wise,
it's just gatekeeping, man. Gatekeeping.
And all AV is equally crappy than the next AV. It's the same database of shit. And these guys for the wallets also must be sharing the same database. So if one takes it off block, it'll be probably renewed if the majority of them have not renewed the same shared database. So it's a non-starter for me to be running AV on your crypto-only laptop.
There's always a centralized party that has the gate somewhere. I mean, it's like, even DNS, right? Like you're relying on someone to validate your certificates and DNS and all that stuff. Why don't we just use IP addresses? Well, that's because they suck and we need DNS. So there's always got to be like some reliance on some little tiny third party. We just want to minimize it. That's the way I think about it, at least as much as possible.
Right.
But yeah, please MetaMask, Phantom, Chrome. I reported it 10,000 times. I'm sure other people have too. Please stop. Take it off the list because a lot of people use the site and I like it.
Awesome.
Cool.
And tomorrow is Valentine's Day, Papa B.
Yes.
So maybe a Trezor hardware wallet. That's a nice.
There is a sale. There's a better
romantic
sale
gift.
now. Yes. There's a better sale on now on the Trezor site than there even was in Black Friday.
Wow.
2 Trezor ones for $50, man.
And we don't even have a referral link on this show.
No, we don't, and we never will. We don't
want that.
We don't take your money, and we don't get any benefit because if Trezor fucks things up as much as Ledger did, we will be the first to drop them with a clear conscience and direct you to something better. That's why we don't take any referral links on this channel or personally.
That's right. Briz says I use the Brave browser, which I am too, but Richard said not to use it once. I don't know.
They don't get the updates as often as Chrome would. Yeah. They don't have the amount of devs that Chrome does. So I only use personally I only use Brave browser when I watch streams that are monetized up the ass, like Somi stream or whatever that has like commercials every 5 seconds, or Hexo, or these people that monetize their video. I'm not gonna listen in my headphone while I'm in the kitchen listening to 95% commercials that you can't advance. Sometimes I get a Japanese commercial that's 30 minutes non-advance. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
So I need to be able to weed those should take that out.
Oh, man.
That's what Brave's good for.
Thothschild is in the chat. We got Hexy Quinn tuning in. Man, everybody's here today. Thanks. Thank you guys for stopping by. So,
hey, Max,
Toby.
Wait, I got to ask Max something real quick. Did we meet in Miami or Vegas maybe? I couldn't remember if we had or not.
One of those I want to say, maybe Miami.
Were you down there for the premiere?
Sure. But we're going to meet in Vegas? No, not the premiere.
What are you going to ask him if you left your underwear at his house or something?
No, I don't know if I just feel like I met the guy, but I can't remember. It's like, how tall are you? You're tall, right? You're like linebacker tall.
He's about 1.5 inches on my screen.
I've been told several feet.
You're a touch below 7 feet. Holy shit. Well, I would have remembered, so he must have not.
The Super Bowl.
No, I said I've been told several feet.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm in the dip catcher gold key range of height.
Right on. Yeah, those are talking.
But you're going to be in Vegas in the next couple weeks?
I doubt it. Highly unlikely. I've got some family obligations. It'd be fun to come out and see everybody, but I don't think I'm going to be able to make this one. So, but yeah. So, Deej, did you want to do the charts?
All right, let's go.
That was a stillbirth.
Damn.
Man, that intro. Silly.
The StreamYard.
Silly.
That was bad.
Oh, the reaps.
Not good.
No, that's
all right.
Not,
so I like to start off with the cryptocurrency that everybody seems to know about, which is Bitcoin. We've got this giant ascending white parallel channel that's been going on all the way back since at least the peak back in 2017, probably further. And it's been confirmed over and over and over and over. So I think part of the issue is because we haven't broken this channel for so long, there's a lot of hesitancy at this level, right? If we break it, it's I think we're gonna have to reset, right? And we're gonna have to kind of readjust what kind of parallel channels even come into play for a while. But right now we're in this smaller yellow parallel channel. We talked before about that potentially being a bear flag, right? So, bull flag. And this would be the pole of the flag if we're taking it off the moves from July. Typically what I've found is that they move about the height of the flag pole. I've also found that the time frame that they break out is that slope, that diagonal sometimes will play in. I don't know what the odds are of that. I haven't heard any other TA people talk about it, but I've just kind of noticed sometimes, you're going to get that move, but how long is it going to take you to get the move? Sometimes
Toby, hold on a moment. Not to be rude, but I just got a private chat that said that let me correct. I'm squinting here, but it looks like Max has got the runs and he may have to leave really soon. So we may have to do an advanced goodbye.
That was not in the chat. That was not in the chat.
And I'm squinting to read it.
We already had it taken care of, Papa B. We already had it taken care of.
You had your Imodium? Awesome. But you know what? If we could do an advanced goodbye so that you can give us the Irish goodbye of just disappearing while Toby's doing this very important TA.
Because he's got to bounce.
Let's say our pre-goodbye.
I would like to leave too, quite frankly, but
shut up.
Go now.
You stay, sir.
Max, DJ, let's just do a pre-goodbye, so in case he has to leave, then he can leave. Max, basically, thank you for coming to the show. It's wonderful to see you as always. Where can people find you? Blah 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 blah.
Now he says he has another 10 minutes.
RHMax.tv. Yeah, I got time, but let's do it.
Toby.
We'll lock it out. This is not going to be a long one.
Here we go.
As long as the interruptions are already.
Yeah.
All right. So anyhow, full flag potentially. We're still bouncing around in this yellow parallel channel. Seems like we're really close to the midline. We've broken the 10 simple moving average, and we haven't dipped all the way down to the 20. What is that? The 25-day EMA. I think I can't remember how I have this one set up. But anyhow, we're in this channel. We're smack in the middle of it. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. If we break out the full measured move of the channel itself, if we break out in the next, by March, would get us up to around 121,000, which would be nice and significant. I'd expect a pullback to test the top of this white channel. If we're going to try to make that move of the bull flag, you're looking at a move up to about 160K, which could happen as soon as June, according to this little, voodoo that I think works with bull flags. So we'll see. Time will tell. If we also the full measured move of the broader ascending parallel channel is the height of the channel. So that's this white vertical line. That takes us up to around 180, 190K. Again, how long does it take to play out? My speculation is April-ish would be the earliest that could happen if we're following the 4-year cycle. Because if you recall, we had a top in April and then a top again in November for Bitcoin. So the first top was April 21. April 25 is coming. So there's a chance that could be a peak, and then we can kind of see what happens there. But there's a lot of moving parts to this, so we'll see how it goes. A lot of different things in the play that weren't last cycle. We've got the ETS, not only for this, but for Ethereum. Other ETFs being talked about definitely changes the dynamic of the market. But lastly, on Bitcoin, what we typically see is Bitcoin tops first, Ethereum tops shortly after, and then you get your proper altcoin season. So that's what leads me to believe that our altcoin season is going to be sometime this summer. I feel like Bitcoin really has to hit a top first, and a definitive one, not this kind of limp stuff that's just like bouncing around 100K. So we'll see how that plays out. So moving along, this is
Alan Fizame says bigger green arrows in the future.
Right. Dude,
I made that joke already.
I started this chart. I started doing this chart in 2017. Believe it or not. And then over time, I adjusted a little bit in the 21 run up. And then I predicted that we would hit these levels around this time. I put those arrows in well over a year ago.
Enhance.
Because I just had, conviction that this was going to play out.
Before you knew how to make them smaller. I get it.
It was just to, make it real blindingly obvious that was an area to look at. And I just have not reduced their size. They're kind of fun. And like way back here, you can see where I say begin bull run ? That was right before big payday. So I saw the breakout happen that I'd been waiting on. And I was like, hey, do I dump all my BTC? It's finally breaking out and go all in on Hex? Or do I trust this breakout signal? I dumped everything and went in before big payday. And then I watched Bitcoin run to all-time highs in 21 and was like, oh my God, that was the worst decision of my life. Then I watched Hex run to all-time highs in September and I'm like, oh my God, that was the best decision of my life. So now I'm somewhere in between. But anyhow, so it's been a very accurate chart. And moving along, we'll go to HEX, the baby, the firstborn of the RH ecosystem. One of I hold near and dear. I like it a lot.
It's pumping today.
I never lost faith on it. It's been doing pretty well. So we had this yellow ascending channel within the broader white descending channel. So we were kind of marching our way up. If you recall, we threw this fractal in here from the last bull cycle. That was from February of 21 to September of 21. So I just kind of laid that in to see how it would play out. And it's a little tricky to see, but if you look real close, it's like it pretty much did it. It's like we wicked down harder than what the fractal was suggesting, but we pretty much played the pattern, right? We came up, we rolled over, we came down. We're starting to work our way back up, and we're actually ahead of pace for the green fractal. And I get it. TA is kind of woo-woo anyhow. And then if you put fractals on top of it, it's like that's like crystal ball reading on top of tea leaves. It's like, but it's been interesting to see how the patterns have been similar.
Would that make them T-balls?
Wow. You always go there, Papa. Class. So anyhow, moving right along. we got, have you got like a groan sound in your arsenal, DJ? Or you just go,
oh my God. I thought fireworks were going off around me. What the hell just happened?
I thought Wookiees were going off around me.
DJ's got all the sound effects on.
I was like, what is going on?
He's ready with the button. It's a Gen X thing. RHMax. We love that shit. So
you didn't say boomer. Thank you.
Looks like we came up through. Yeah, right. Well, we're not that old. People like to call us boomers. We're not boomers. We're Gen X. I'm proud. So except for Peter. Peter's not. He's a millennial. So,
Peter's a Gen Z.
A convention millennial.
Whippersnapper.
So a whippersnapper. And all right. So anyhow, so we wicked up through the midline, which was very bullish. I don't know if anyone else saw that against USDC, but it got up to 006. So it was a really bullish candle up. We got dumped back down, chopping around now, trying to find some sort of support, maybe back up on the midline. If we get there again, that's 0054. I would look for continuation. The big resistance is going to come at that white line because we have not been able to break that since the all-time high way back in 2021. So you can see here, all-time high, bounced off, almost got there, rode the midline, bounced off, come down, rode the bottom line, midline, fighting there, rode the bottom forever. September, we finally start to make our move up. So we're gradually working that up, slow but sure. Top of the channel is going to be strong resistance, probably around the 007, depending on when we hit it. If we do the predicted April breakout on on Bitcoin, I think it's going to pull all of this stuff up. Do I think that that's the beginning of our run to all-time high? Not necessarily. I think Bitcoin and Ethereum have to cool off first before the injection really happens. But that could be the start of it. So if it is, and we break out in April, which the fractal also coincidentally shows breaking out in April, the full measured move on that takes us up around 10 cents on EHEX. If we stay at the same ratio that we are now with PHEX, then you're looking at a 10-cent EHEX, a 50-cent PHEX. That's 60 cents combined. In my book, that's an all-time high, right? Is it the full glory? Maybe not. You got the asterisks because it's combined hex, but I don't think anybody would be complaining if we had a combined 60 cent. Obviously, things can get very exuberant. There's a lot of moving parts in this ecosystem for sure, especially with all the changes happening recently. So I would say 10 cents is a minimum target for EHEX going forward. And, I would love to see it reach an all-time high completely on its own. I think that would be the absolutely like golden like shining star in the rich part ground.
And nothing Toby says is financial advice. Nothing on this program.
Dude, look at me. Would you take advice from this guy, please? No. Talking it on the internet. And do your own research. There's no guarantees of future performance of any of this shit. It's like, I like it. I'm excited about it. I've chosen to invest heavily personally, but everyone needs to make their own choices for that. Absolutely. Anything I should be said should be taken with a grain of salt. And really, I do honestly always encourage people, do your own research. Don't listen to guys on the internet. I have utmost faith in everybody that's on stream right now. Very intelligent guys, very ethically grounded. And I don't ever see any of these people steering anyone wrong. But still, these should be starting points. And then use tools like GoRealDeFi.com. Go do your research on your own. Find dissenting opinions and work it out. It's your money, right? So it's like you're the one that's going to click the buy button. If things don't go well, you're a pussy if you blame somebody else. So, yeah, anyhow. All right, so that's Hex. That's kind of what I see happening there. Moving right along, what do we got here? And we're on the new Hex. The new improved, some think. The twin brother of HEX.
The cloned brother.
If you've ever seen...
Cheaper fees.
If you've ever seen, like, there's a weird disorder. It's kind of like Siamese twins, but not quite. But it's just like a partially formed baby. Like HEX would kind of be like the head that came out of the back of the shoulder of PHEX. So he's the buff, good-looking guy like RHMax, and then like the weird little ugly head behind it would be like Papa, right?
Thanks.
So if you look up and down right above me, I've got PHEX, or below me I got HEX, and then here we go. So basically on this one, this channel's been playing out really nicely. It started way back here in June of 24. Started getting that move up in September along with everything else. Bounced off the top, came down, rode the midline. Really tried hard to get above it here from November through December. Had a big pullback. I believe this is around the Interpol FUD. But we stayed within the channel. Tried to wick below it a little bit, but we closed inside on the daily candles. We're trying to work our way up to that midline. It's tricky when you get above your EMAs, and I've got like 10-day, 20-day, 50-day. What are my EMA settings? Help me. 21-day, 55-day, 100-day, and 200-day. So we're above all those. So that's where it gets tricky. It's like, well, then how do you find support and resistance because you're above all your EMAs? Well, you start looking at other areas of support and resistance from past price action, right? So that's all these vertical lines that you see in here. That's where we've had resistance and support previously. So, as we're going up, I'd say the next one for this would be about 2.3 cents. Above that, which corresponds with the midline of the ascending channel, would put us about 2.5 cents. A big one to look for is the previous top here on the shorter term time frame. That puts us right around 3 cents. And, anytime you reach a nice round number, there's psychological resistance. So 3 cents is going to be a big tipping point. If we can break out of 3 cents, I think it'll be a hustle and move up to 4. 4.3 was the all-time high on PHEX. So, we're a sneeze away from a new all-time high on PHEX. We get out of that. If we run up and do the theory I've got going of an April breakout, we break out here and do the full measured move of that. That's going to take your PHEX up to about 35 cents.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Dang.
So not too shabby. That's my estimation. I think we should hold there. I mean, obviously there's always downside, if we were to roll over and break down for some black swan event, but everything's looking really bullish in my estimation at this point. All right. So moving right along, we'll go to the pulse chart. Pulse chart, same situation here. We've got, the parallel channel that's been playing out forever, started the moves in September, hit the top, rolled over with the Interpol FUD, rode the bottom, trying to work our way back up. Right now we're bouncing off of it. Looks like the 100 EMA, and we're just below the 55 EMA. So we actually have some other indicators here to tell us kind of what we're trying to fight through. If we can get above 4056, I think that's going to be really good. And we should be clear to get up to closer to 406. And then you'd be looking up here at the 200 EMA, which is a tiny little short line because we don't have that much history on the Pulsechain assets. And that, coincidentally corresponds right with the midline of this channel that it's in. So that puts us up at about 407, which would be really nice. I think everyone would like that. If we can continue that move and get to the top of the channel and break out in April, like I'm speculating with everything else, we're going to, oddly, I love, when things coincide, gets us up close to all-time high, which was 0025, which is 2.5 times SAC. So that would be the big resistance, right? And then it's a blue sky breakout. Where are we going after that? Sky's the limit. So we'll see if it plays out. Definitely look for some support as we get toward the top of this channel. Look for some resistance. Look for some resistance at the midline. But as long as we're staying off of this bottom line, the trend is your friend, and the trend right now is up on all the RH assets. Moving along to Pulse X. This one we played around the other day. We've got the orange descending parallel channel, and then we're like, it kind of looks like a big triangle too. So I threw the bottom line on here to get us an idea of a triangle, because it is a giant freaking symmetric triangle. So on this, we're already approaching the top of the channel. So it would be really nice on Pulse X. It's been performing really, really well. You see these big bounces off the midline. So it's been trying, and then we finally got this big push up over the last few weeks. We're coming up close to the top of the channel, so I would expect some resistance there. But if we can not round over and get the breakout in, say it with me, April, the measured move of the channel gets us to 3023, right? So that gets that up to beyond the all-time high, because it looks like the all-time high on Pulse X was 3012. So we'd be well beyond it with a breakout, just doing the measured move of the channel. If we do the measured move of the triangle, and as I explained before, typically you want to look at your next point of confirmation. So you don't take it from the widest point of the triangle. You take it from the next point that kind of gives you confidence that you might be in a triangle. So that this height right here from here to here is what I measured. And that actually takes us all the way up here to a price point of 0.00066. So I don't think anybody would be complaining if we were 6.5 times SAC on Pulse X in April or thereabouts.
Wait, that's 006, not 0006, right?
That is 3 zeros. We're at 4 zeros now, Papa.
Okay. So it'd be 3 zeros and a 6.
Yes, sir. Yep. All right. Okay. And then moving along to the clown, the beloved ink, the baby of the family.
Everybody loves ink.
Everybody loves ink, right?
Well, not anymore after the slashing of the yield.
I think people still love ink. I think part of the problem with ink,
they may love it more.
I think they will love it more, quite frankly, because it's
like scarce.
I think. Well, think about it. It's like people take things for granted, right? That's the nature of being a human being. If you're farming forever and you are like, hey man, I'm getting $100 a day in ink or $50 a day, whatever in ink, it gets real easy to be like, man, I got all this ink piling up. That meme coin looks kind of fun. And maybe you're a little bit more of a degen than you would be otherwise. I typically took my yield and rotated it back into Pulse and Pulse X and then added to my farms. But that was also sell pressure, right? Because I'm selling ink to buy Pulse or Pulse X, so I can even it out and then add more to my farms. So there are many reasons for people to be selling ink. So now, people are realizing that it's very, very hard to earn a lot of ink unless you have a ton of capital. And even if you do, like the yield is so low.
Farming on the meme side of life.
Of ink. I'm not fighting it at all. I think now it has more upside than ever because you've reduced that sell pressure. Even if people have accumulated bags, because they're no longer replenishing with the juicy yield from the farms, they're going to be more likely to hang on to those bags than to fritter them away on speculative shiny bullshit, right? Or even to rotate them and put them back in the farm, because why would you put more in the farm if the yield's so shit? You're better off probably holding it, right? So that's my thinking, and I think we've got tremendous upside on this. Same situation, we blew through all of the EMAs. We're wicking off of the 200 EMA for the last 6 days. We've wicked off on the last 3-day candle, wicked off it again. We're down below it, and I'd say if we did pull back to the midline, you'd be looking at about $2.70. That would also be right on the 100 EMA, so that would be healthy, I think, before another push forward to try to break the top line. But the full measured move, if we get that breakout in April that I'm hoping for, if Bitcoin shoots its shot, you're looking at over $20 ink in April, which is phenomenal considering we're not even at $3 right now. We're just shot. Yep. So that's looking pretty juicy. My Ethereum chart's still broken. Thank you, TradingView. It's like I lost all my drawings. So, Pop, I can't really help you there. A lot of sideways. We'll see. It looks like right now it's kind of like fighting most of the EMAs on one little area. Where
Let me just check with RHMax. Do you get a run or do you have 5 more minutes?
My body's ready. 5 minutes.
Okay, cool.
All right.
It's the prune juice coming in.
So basically it's like I'd be looking for some resistance at 2,700. That's the 200 EMA on Ethereum. If we can break out of that, maybe that's when the move starts. I mean, we're in February. So, if Ethereum starts to shoot its shot, last time it peaked in May, right? So if Bitcoin shoots its shot in April, Ethereum shouldn't be far behind it. So I'd say, starting to move up now. I just actually bought a little Ethereum the other day. I think this is a really good spot. I don't really see this going down a lot from here. I think the upside significantly outweighs it. And that's it. That's a wrap. I know there's people that want to see most. If anyone wants to stick around and you guys want to do most, we can let RHMax.
But people wanted to see most wanted.
You want to see most? Okay, all right.
Yes.
I got most ready just in case. And this is hilarious because there's like very little history on it because
there's nothing there. So I thought, why chart this?
And quite frankly, it's like if I got it on log at least.
Hit log.
Click log. Exactly.
So there's log. So that's something.
That's a good chart.
That's not bad. It started off really well. Now here's the deal. It's like there's a couple different ways you can read this. You can look at this and say, hey, this is a descending triangle, which basically means you're flat on the bottom and then you got a downward slope. Typically, on average, triangles like this are more likely to break to the downside. So a downside break from here would take us, curiously, to around this spot I have marked around 3.2 cents, which is right here where we had some resistance, and then we found support and worked our way back up. So it could work back down to the low 3 or the 3 cent range if we break down. Now, if we break up, it's a little different. It's like it could break up the height of the triangle as well, which would take us, curiously close to all-time highs, which is around 20 cents. If you want to get real bullish and real woo-woo math on it, you can say this is a bull flag, right? In which case, then you're looking at a giant flagpole down to here, and then you're saying, hey, if we break out of this thing, where is it going? And this is showing a price of a breakout to nearly $100. So,
awesome.
I don't know, bro. It's like, do I have a bag? Sure. I got a small bag to play around with. It's fun to look at. Theoretically, this is like the premier meme token.
Yeah, Richard Hard's meme coin, where he is rumored to be holding most of the supply. It's just a rumor, though.
That's the rumor. But yeah, so that's kind of it. But but yeah, I'm feeling really, really solid about what we got going on.
Thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, guys. RHMax, thanks for tagging along. Thanks for coming on the show.
Keeping the chat alive.
Thank you, chat alive.
Wild. We got 315 people watching live. Before we go to your final words, I want to shout out Thoschild. He is back from the dead, so to speak, although he wasn't dead, but he is restreaming his first 10 episodes of My Mind Spray on his channel, so go check that out. A lot of interviews there with some of your favorite Hexicans on Thosschild's channel. Check that out on YouTube. Follow him on the X. RHMax, what final words? Of course, where can people find you? All that good stuff, but what is your short-term, long-term outlook for the ecosystem? Are we bullish?
I avoid predictions like the plague. However, it has been amazing the last couple of weeks. Like I say, do I want more yield? Of course, I want more yield. Do I want price to go up? Yes, I want price to go up. So, is it fair? Does it change? Is glory still on the horizon? At the end of the day, that's what I signed up for. So that's all I know. I'm here. I want glory. I want it. I want Pulsechain to win, and hopefully 2025 is the year that we do break out figuratively and literally. So it'll be a lot of fun. RHMax.tv. That will go straight to my YouTube channel if you want to do that.
Tuberculosis?
And
TV.
Not TB.
Oh, TV. Sorry.
Yeah. TV.
TV is in
TV,
victory.
like the one you're watching.
RHMax.tv. Absolutely bookmarked.
Yeah. There you go.
Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. It's been awesome.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
Great show.
And how do you always say survive and 5 hours?
Survive and 5555. We are out.